Dutch passport is important than PhD. And the student said this. It will shock you.
Between a Dutch passport and a PhD degree, which will you choose?
Dutch passport.
Between a Dutch passport and a PhD degree, which will you choose?
Oh, PhD degree there, what's up? Dutch passport, Charlie.
And these are people who are still in the university, learning and hoping that they will end up with some PhD degree.
DJ
So my people,
Paco
welcome to the channel. My name is Mazi. My name is DJ Paco Rich. Some they call me Otumba, some they call me Siriki. So, I mean, if you are in the Ghanaian space or if you're on social media in Ghana right now, I don't know if it's the same thing in Nigeria, but there is something really going on. A great conversation between a Dutch passport and a PhD. Yes, this all began when a young man called Kofi Gaps, who is popularly known on Instagram as Mr. Happiness, started a conversation about his ability to gain a Dutch passport. Yes, this is a young man in Ghana who was struggling here in the country, and he had the opportunity to travel outside Ghana. He jackpot. And I learned it was through a dating app. She met this Dutch woman that they fell in love genuinely, and then they settled there in Netherlands. Yes. And so this is what this man do. He's a cleaner. He says it in almost all his videos that he cleans the toilet. And the toilet that he's been cleaning in overseas is fetching him money. He's living good. And he's living better than he used to live in Africa. And he feels that he's living better and he has a better future than a lot of PhD holder. And this triggered a lot of conversation anger because people know what they go through to have their PhD degrees and all those, stuffs and all that. And so most of them are unhappy. And so the conversation keeps going on. He keeps dropping videos and people also keep, saying, speaking their mind. But I truly want to know that looking at the current situation of Africa, the way our leaders have messed up things, is it the fault of the ordinary hustling young person in Africa to choose a passport from Dutch or a Dutch passport over a PhD? I mean, people are saying they will even choose this passport over masters or whatever. Because it's obvious that their education is the key. That slogan doesn't hold anymore. And the funny thing is that they went to a university to do, a voice pop to find out what the uni students think. And it would surprise you that majority of the students feel that the Dutch passport is very important than the PhD or the school that they are even attending. And it's true. We have people that are very intelligent. They go through our education system here. They are done with school. And if you don't have connection, it will be very difficult for you to get a job. That's the fact. People go into politics and overnight they are rich. And people that study, they did all that they could do in school are struggling to even have a job that they can put food on their table. And so the man made a reference to what the vice president of Ghana said some time ago when he initiated something we call Ghana Card. The vice president of Ghana stood publicly on TV saying that the Ghana Card is better than 10 interchanges or 1,000 interchanges. Meaning that when you have the Ghana Card, it is better than infrastructures in the country. All in the name of the previous president did a lot of infrastructures and he came up with that Ghana Card concept. And so he feels like to downgrade what that previous government did, he has to say all these things. And this man is also saying that Dutch passport is better than PhD. And people are upset with him. This is the video.
Information. And maybe a lot of people sometimes don't even appreciate what the impact of the Ghana Card is. But if you gave me 1,000 interchanges and a Ghana Card, I'll choose the Ghana Card because that's more impact.
According to the number 2 citizen of Ghana, Ghana Card, Esumbo, Echai, Lori Kwine Papa.
All right, because he said it in our local language, I would like to explain that to you. All that he's saying is that the number 2 or the second gentleman of the country could say that Ghana card is more important than 1,000 interchanges, good roads. Then we should know that the country is heading to, some unknown direction. But anyway, they went to the university to find out if truly, Ghana card. This is funny. They went to the university to find out that Dutch passport is important than PhD. And the student said this. It will shock you.
Between a Dutch passport and a PhD degree, which will you choose?
Dutch passport.
Between a Dutch passport and a PhD degree, which will you choose?
Oh, PhD degree there, what's up? That passport, Charlie.
And these are people who are still in the university, learning and hoping that they will end up with some PhD degree.
Dutch passport.
Yeah.
Between a Dutch passport and a PhD degree, which will you go for?
I'll go for a Dutch passport.
And so I think the argument needs to end here, because if people that they are funding them in school or they are spending their years in school feel like what they are struggling or what they are working hard for, it's of no use, but a Dutch passport is the issue, then I think Africa, we are doomed. The reason is that people complete school and they have nothing to do. It is only people that have been able to travel outside Africa that have had better opportunities. People that live here in Africa, see, you might be intelligent than somebody, you might be smart, you might be brilliant than somebody in a class in Africa. But if you're not careful and you are stuck here with less opportunities and less connections, that person will travel out and will come back and you wash his cars. That's the truth. And so I don't fault this man for saying that one way or the other, he's saying the truth, but the truth sometimes is bitter. If the leaders have done our things properly, I'm not sure he would travel to clean toilets and be proud of it. I'm not saying it's a bad job. It is somebody's job. Somebody has to do it. But to compare that to a PhD, it means there is no respect for Ghanaian PhD. And it's true. It's true. You see people walking around going to school every day. They are done with school and they still live in their parents' house and they are feeding them. It's sad that somebody will complete school and will come back to the street to do hawking because they have no option. And it's not everybody that can hit on the street to rob or street or do prostitution. Yeah, I understand there are people who are greedy, who want fast life and all that. But the obvious truth is that we are not in our best of times as Africans. The path that the leaders have made is quite useless for us. And so people live in Africa and they have no hope. It's sad and it's pathetic. May God help us to tell our story a better way. My name is Mazi. Let me know what you think about this particular controversy.
DJ Paco Rich.